Mr. Gaurav Gullaiya, who is from the industry chamber, and in fact, he's also the organizer of the first MMA Summit in India that happened in February this year. Am I right, Mr. Gullaiya? And of course, he's going to tell us more about MMA, the rise of MMA in India, and the future of it as well. Now, I'll begin by asking the direct question about the role of industries in MMA. The fact that we have this MFN edition 15 already here, and the people who have turned up in huge numbers to actually witness the fights, and MMA culture is growing. How are the industries playing a role here?
So industries have been supporting this already growing phenomenon in India. So it's the full corporatized sport, like it's all run by industry till now. As such, there is no government involvement in terms of the funding, in terms of associations as well. So industry is wholeheartedly approaching, like we are connected to the global giants, global superpowers right now. Whatever happening in the West or in and around the world, we are adapting to the changes there. So industry is growing simultaneously. MMA industry is growing around the world and in India also. Like this is one of the leagues in India which is prominent, run by two entrepreneurs who is a duo of mother and daughter. So the future is bright for Indian combat sports, MMA as well as jiu-jitsu in India.
And of course, the celebrity connection also, somewhere pushes and the influence on the youth and to inspire them to take this up more.
So apart from the celebrity culture, like at our first MMA Summit, we had the IOA's president PT Usha ma'am, we had the CEO for Indian Olympic Association, we had the coach of Sakshi Malik. They are representing all the stakeholders who are connected with the sport are trying to grow it. It's a medium for upskilling. It's a medium for the fighting culture, which is already an inherent part of our genes, our DNA. We have been fighters. So all of the stakeholders, along with the substantial push from the private sector as well as the industry, are here in India to grow this sport. The future is bright.
You mentioned about IOA, and so tell us more in detail about the involvement or the reaction of the sports bodies in India towards the rise of this new sport that is MMA here.
So see, the sports bodies are for one particular sport. Like boxing has a boxing federation, wrestling has a wrestling federation of India, IOA is the sole governing body, and then we have the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports for it. However, as such, there are MMA federations, but these single sports are form only one component of the MMA ecosystem. So, there are various bodies for particular sports, but a full comprehensive body by the ministry or by the support of Indian Olympic Association is missing in MMA. We want the government to play its part in terms of the three stakeholders, Sarkar, Samaj and Bazaar. So all of these have a equally important role to let this sport grow and let the economy grow as well, which is associated with this sport.
How do you see the acceptance of MMA in India?
Acceptance, I think we are part of the startup culture, we are part of the social media culture. Acceptance is visible on the website. We met the Prime Minister, is already posting his 100-day challenge. We have a lot of other people. We have Varun Sanyal, like a person whose father is in Prime Minister's economic advisory, is accepting it. So it's easier, like the adaptation is coming from both ends. It's a demand and supply from both ends. It's an equally positive reaction from both the sides.
And you spoke about the startup culture. How it's really helping MMA and such, many such sports.
So startup culture is there in India. Like we have all sorts of startup coming up each day. We have the startup capital. Bangalore is full of them. So like in sport of MMA, which is purely corporatized, which is purely entrepreneurial, we need more startups in this. We need more sporting startups. We need more kinematic startups. Like the IIT should do more studies in the human genes. At the end of the day, we have to realize that it's human potential at its peak. MMA is fighting, and fighting is the peak of all combat sports. So why not a new startup in this? Why not a new league in this?
You feel there's need to be more work for the youth of the country to actually, access the game more and be more exposed to MMA than any other sport?
Like we have a traditional sport, like cricket is the Goliath of all these things. However, we can't push the other sports back. Like if there's an elder brother in the family, we don't fight with him. We climb on his shoulders and rule over the place. So MMA can be that. It's a sport as well as an entrepreneurial journey which can be taken up, which is taken up by the society and by the people. like fighting, we all love it. We have seen people fighting over the street, and there are 10 people.
Put it to good use.
Yeah, put it to good use. Put it to good use. Make money out of it. Come into it. There is fighter safety. There is upskilling of the fighters. Already we had only one male wrestler this time. We had all female wrestlers. There is no boxing in the LA 2028 Olympics. Why not? What these boxers will do? Will they fight in? Will they wait for another 2032 Olympics? No. They'll upskill themselves, they'll move to MMA and fight professionally and make their money out of it. Sports can't be just a government job right now in this culture. It's a startup culture, you can start your only company.
Are more and more women participating in MMA?
Yes, we have one women card, like 2 women are fighting here, and the acceptance is there. Like we have Pooja Tomar, who was made into the UFC and was the first ever female who had won there. So it's a 50-50 gender equality in the UFC right now from India. It will substantially increase. The women should take it up, and women are taking it up.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gaurav Gullaiya, for joining us on Republic TV to speak on MMA, its popularity, and of course the influence it's having right now in the Indian youth culture.